a different perspective, and that is by having the digital support and the mental support of one's digital character. I would always love story games in particular. Like, I would be able to imagine myself being this character, thinking what this character does, deciding what this character or person does, or thing, or object, or monster, anything. Anything, as the range of the character is very wildly known. And throughout my time, as a young age, I have discovered gaming. I had discovered the age when I was 5, when I had my own computer, and from there I started Flash games. And then after that, I moved on with computer games. And then after that, I started with the consoles, which that started with my Xbox 360, then PS4, and then Xbox Series X. Obviously, I still have a new computer, as I love the widely range of different games that are combined between the consoles and the PC. But that's not the question I was talking about. We are talking about how the journey that took me for able to accept myself as who I am now, into what games has offered me and what games has provided me with. They are a sense of comfort, a sense of security. I was always the person that you would look to turn a blind eye when you see. When you will look around, you will look to him, and then nothing, and then you would just see all the bad stuff. You would just see like fat, rude, offensive, dumb. While all that information and all that bullying and all that affected me in some ways that has ended my confidence overall. But I'll always go back home instead of crying my eyes out, instead of thinking of what a person I am. I had the opportunity to have games by my side, to help me distract, to go home, open what games I'm playing, and then keep going that story. My reality can stop, can have a pause for a moment while I'm enjoying these games. And I made some amazing memories. I made some amazing friends along the path as well that I will cherish my whole life. And the experience that I had, I knew that if they were online, I knew that in a sense we grew up together as one. And the emotion that we shared, happiness, anger, jealous, prideful, we all shared as one. And now some of them have grown up, have got the job. Some of them hasn't have married, have finally a child. And I love to see them as they progress through further in life, and I how we all started as just some naive kids that would come home and open up the console or the computer and just play some games together until we were asked to turn it off. But I'm just explaining the message that nobody's alone, especially when playing. Nobody's alone. You are not alone. I'm not alone. Some some take games deeper than others, and I would like to classify myself as in that category, only because I never knew anything. I didn't know any other object, any other hobby, any other thing. The most of the stuff that I know now, I learned from games and games alone. My language, I learned from games. How to how to have a relationship, I learned from games. How to cherish and take care of one another, I learned from games. All of these that are supposed to be taught another way, I managed to get around by games. And also, it helped me get around by life itself, because most of the time I didn't know most of the basic stuff. But in a sense, games opened me up more than I should. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. And I love the way how it interacts lightning, how it includes lightning, how it includes symbolism, and the information that it gives off. They are more than just games. They are life, environment, feelings. Without games, I would be a nobody, a shallow soul. I already struggle with my emotions. I always need to control them. I need to control how I am, how happy I am, how sad I am, how guilty I am, how sympathetic I am. All of these are emotions that I can control manually. I cannot express emotions automatically and naturally because of the autism and ADHD that I suffer from, and the lack of knowledge towards the most basic understanding of people's emotion. So I used games to teach me stuff that nobody taught me and nobody had the chance to teach me. And in a sense, I'm actually glad, because during that time that was one of the single times that I could learn by myself, that I can actually learn something that would help provide me with a better understanding. Now, this whole film was me understanding the path to find myself into games, and how games has helped me get a deeper understanding of what life has to give me, what life has to offer. Some people say they are bad for you. Some people say, "Oh, just go outside." But we are at the time where kids nowadays don't know what playing a ball is anymore. They don't know how to go outside. They can't go outside, go on the iPad, or go on TikTok or Instagram. We have saw how the generation is at the moment. And as awful as that is, we have to come into an acceptance. We have to come into an acceptance that this is how this is gonna be. There isn't a way back. There is no way to hide it. This is how it will be. And in a way, I'm relieved, because games can also help connect with your family. In a way, they help to connect as you come together as to find two purpose, two goals together. I struggled to make this project. More or less, I was scared to create this, on the fact that all of the past, the dark times that I come, he has made me into the breaking point. And the breaking point is on a tight thread, on a small tight thread. Any mistake that I do, anything, can lead to that point. But what I know is that I can always come back to games. I can always play digital games to ignore the fact that no matter how hard or how easy life is gonna throw at me, I can always pause it. Pause like the water suddenly stops. Pause like the sky stops spinning. Pause like the switch turning on and off. I think more should get this message that playing video games and expressing emotions can save somebody's life from whatever they're dealing with. And if you out there watching this video, I want you to understand, no matter how life can hit you, you're the strongest there is. if it gets to a breaking point, you can always talk to somebody. Games are more than we anticipated. We should have never underestimated the power of playing games. Thank you very much for watching.